In this video, I'm gonna be showing you how to remove and clean a blower wheel. Really any system, this is gonna be the same process, besides a few wires here and there that might be a little different, but the concept is still gonna be the same. So let's jump right into this and let's get this blower wheel cleaned. Pulling this blower wheel out and give it a good cleaning. I'm going to show you what it takes to get one out, what you do once you get everything out, and what I use to clean it with. All right, so the first thing you want to do is to look and see what all's got to get out of your way to get this whole housing out. So you're going to be removing this entire housing that's got your blower motor and everything in it, but we have to get this board, the mount for the board and all the wiring and all that out of the way. So you're gonna have to take off your thermostat wire. We're gonna unplug everything we can and not unplug the things you don't have to deal with. It's just less you gotta do once you get everything back in. You'll remove those screws back there, and I believe there's usually one underneath. The whole bracket that's holding the board and transformer is going to lift off, and then you can just swing it. So you can swing it out of the way and leave everything else still attached. So really what you're looking for is where is your wiring going up into the furnace from the board, and that is right there. So all of that stuff's gonna stay except for our wiring for the blower itself, which we can disconnect there at the module of the blower motor. Either way, so where your wires are going up is the side you're gonna swing it to. So everything on this side that's connected, like these thermostat wires, has gotta be taken off. That way, when we're ready, we can just swing out this bracket and everything. So I'm going to get those screws out of the top and the bottom and remove the thermostat wires, and then we should be about ready to swing this out of the way. Also have to disconnect your wiring that's attached to that limit. Have to remove those wires. So always take a picture of anything where you're removing any wires that you're unsure of. That way you can reference back to that picture and just keep moving. We're going to remove that screw right there, and then it's going to be that screw right there. So one on each side. So we're going to do that now, and then you'll be able to pull the housing out enough to be able to remove your screws off of this the mounting bracket for the control board. All right, so we got those two screws out. We're gonna go ahead and pull this blower, the whole blower housing, everything still attached, out enough to be able to get those two screws in the top. Your wires are gonna start getting tight, so you're only gonna be able to come out about this far, just enough to be able to get to those two screws. I always think it's easier to go ahead and get your bottom one first. So there is going to be one at the bottom, and it's those two right there. All right, so now we'll take these other screws out of the top. And then you can see what what else you need to disconnect. You can even just take your 2 screws out right here, which might be what I do. I think I'll do that. One of the best things you can get right here. If you're replacing parts a lot, they really come in handy. All right, so we got that part done. So we'll look and see what else we need to get out of the way. And the only thing left is this plug for the blower motor. Okay, so we'll just take these 2 plugs out. And that's it. We can just swing this out of the way, but be careful not to let that board hit anything. Now we're ready to slide this whole piece straight out. Alright, and of course, as soon as I get out here, it starts to rain, so alright. You see it slid down that easy. Hopefully it'll just pull right out. We won't have to get that fan puller. Alright. Come on, baby. Oh yeah. There's the motor. Now we have to remove the screw on each side right here, which keeps this flap down. We have to open it up to be able to get that wheel out. Grab that in a second. That should be enough. It's not awful, but it's definitely good to be done before it gets any worse. You can see, I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but either way, it's a good thing it's we're getting this wet anyways. So what I'm using is the Viper foam sprayer, but it's the maximum strength evaporator cleaner, and I diluted it some, not a lot, and that is what I've found to work the best for blower wheels. After I'm finished, let this just sit for about 10-15 minutes, and then you shouldn't have to do any type of scrubbing. It'll eat all that stuff away. While you're waiting, you can go ahead and you can spray all this out too if you'd like. I think I'm just going to get a rag and clean it all out, because it can be time consuming to get everything dried out, because you want to make sure everything's dry before you get it put back in there.
Mm-hmm.
your blower after you put it back in, and that will finish it off, get it all dry. You can slide that in however you'd like, but you want to make sure that your plug is facing the same direction as where your control board's going to be, or you're going to have big problems. Sure that this is in line on the flat edge, and then we can get this centered. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to be as close as possible. And always give it a test spin. Alright, looks good. Let's go put it back in. Limit switch too has got to go back in. We also have to put our plugs back into the motor. Slide it back in place. And now it's just going to be plugging everything back in. So I'll plug this in last. I got to get my thermostat wires plugged in, and I think that's pretty much everything I took off. So that's pretty much it. So after I get all this wired back in, I'm just going to run that blower, make sure it all sounds good, and let it dry out for a minute, and we'll be all finished. Alright, let's jump it out. Alright guys, well that's a wrap. Hope y'all enjoyed this one, and I hope this helps someone. If y'all are new to the channel, like and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and we'll catch you at the next video.